welcome to this, the first ever episode of the Bro You Haven't podcast. With me, Adam Claydon, self-proclaimed team leader Josh Aitken, and the voice man himself, JJ Harding. The place where 3 out-of-work performers ramble on about something for about 45 minutes. And what better place to start than with the video game that brought us three together. A tale of camaraderie, love, loss, deceit, and sometimes even gold bars. So, without further ado, it is Rockstar's epic 2018 release, Red Dead Redemption 2. Scadabup! Boys, an Englishman, a Scotsman, and a pirate log into a Facebook group, and we're doing a podcast!
We're doing a podcast! Woo!
Here we go.
Wait, does that mean I have to put on like a heavy Cornish accent? Because I will. I'll do it the entire time.
Oh man, what happened to Jade? When did Captain Crunch come into the podcast?
Shit, Captain Crunch has arrived.
Who the hell wait, no, hang on. Who the hell's Captain Crunch?
You.
Captain Crunch didn't go through 6 years of captain school.
He didn't spend all that time in the mine.
Reaching the rank of captain.
To not be called Captain Crunch of the mine.
In the mine. So he's a captain of a mine.
And he works at the Minack Theatre on a Saturday. That's a reference you won't get, Josh, but there we go.
Being a deep northerner.
Gentlemen,
what
are we here to talk about today?
Well, first of all, I'm Sleeve McDurkle.
Sleeve McDykel.
Is it Dykel? I don't think you can say that, man. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but it's like Michael. It's like you know.
I'm Todd Bonzales.
What was that? I am the Honourable Bobson Dugnett.
Bobson Dugnett, everybody. ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty.
Mr. Bobson Dugnett.
Mr. Bobson Dugnett.
No, but in all seriousness, who are you?
Well, I go first. Okay. I'm Josh, and I'm from Scotland, and also I'm an alcoholic.
Beautiful. I am Adam. I'm from England, and I'm definitely an alcoholic.
Hi, Adam.
I'm JJ. I'm not from England. I'm from Cornwall, and I'm definitely not an alcoholic. I drink maybe once a week.
You're proof that this system works. Then
I've been attending this meeting for so long now that I just don't need it. I don't feel the need.
So gentlemen, we're here to discuss one thing. Have you ever robbed a stage?
Robbed a stage, Dutch? Rob a stage, Dutch?
That's his gimmick.
So JJ's the impressions guy. That's his bit.
Pressure.
I think I voiced this before to you, but just by that point in the game, you've done so much robbing and killing that his reaction seems so unmerited.
Yeah, it really does.
You literally blow up a train.
Aye, like 5 minutes in.
I love how we're going. Oh, late game. Oh my god, late game from like the offset. It's been 5 minutes and we're already like, hey, guess what?
Yeah, you know what? See if someone is watching this and they haven't played Red Dead. Bro, you haven't played Red Dead too?
Bro, you haven't played Red Dead?
You haven't played Red Dead?
Oh my god, title plug-in?
Snap!
Oh,
title plug.
Title plug. Bro, you haven't played Red Dead.
So Red Dead 2, did you guys get it on launch or were you late to the party?
I got it at the start of 2020. It was the first thing I basically did this year. It's a staggering game, really. It takes you on a journey that you...
Lost for words, ladies and gentlemen. Lost for words.
The podcast is ruined.
The podcast is... I'm just on my fourth coffee, so I've suddenly gone up a hit of caffeine.
that was the noise of caffeine hitting you. Was that what that was?
It was... No, but in all seriousness, I started playing it this year, and I was just blown away by the cinematography of it and how it takes you on a journey. It's like watching 7 seasons of your favourite programme ever.
Yeah, I get that.
But you're in it.
Yeah.
And you're doing it.
The joys of interactive entertainment.
Yeah.
I.e. video games.
On a similar vein to that, I really enjoyed, obviously the cinematic nature of it, but, also the way, it felt like people I already kind of knew. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course.
Yeah. They establish a who's who and Bond from the offset.
Yeah, and I like that.
What is it? Arthur and the chef. What's the chef
Pearson.
called? Mr. Pearson. Yeah, and it's just like straight from the offset. You know he's an absolute weirdo. With Arthur's line like, "I'll do my utmost to avoid you."
But literally, the first thing you do is you're launched into this icy world where horse testicles shrink, and you've got and your footsteps in the snow, and it's beautiful. And the first thing you do is rescue this lady with your 7 best mates in the world, and it's just
Well, not your 6 best mates, because Micah Bell is there.
Micah Bellend Green.
What do you guys think? As spoiler alert, as an eventual antagonist, what do you think of Micah Bell as like the final? You know, that kind of reveal almost at the very end. You know, he was always like an asshole, but that reveal is him as a rat. What do you think about that? How do you feel about
the
that?
betrayal?
The betrayal is you know he's going to do it. I kind of you see the demise of Dutch, and we can talk about that separately. But Micah, you just know from the offset, he's just a nasty piece of work.
He's a piece. Great minds. I was going to say piece of work. Yeah, he's just. It's everything about him. It's his design as well. They even like They twist like bits of his mustache hair. I don't know if you guys have noticed that.
He's a bit disgusting looking. You know what I mean?
He's quite...
He's not clean. He's got this dirty hat on.
I noticed it the most in Guarma, where his little pot belly's hanging out his shirt, and it's just you're like, ugh. No offence to anyone with a pot belly that's listening to this, but
none taken.
No.
His specific pot belly.
It's just it's very unexpected.
I would, although to be fair, I was thinking about this, and I think that, like you saw it coming, but I would almost have liked it to have been someone else.
And to be surprised, maybe who's still alive at that?
Like if it's like somewhat Charles. Imagine it turned out Charles was the rat.
Oh, don't.
Imagine.
Don't. You leave that precious angel boy alone.
It was Charles.
Charles was my absolute favourite.
If it was Uncle, just like drunk in the corner, going, it was me. All along the Pinkertons.
Pause. Let's pause here a second. I need to go and grab another set of earphones because these are about to run out.
Oh, look at me. I got more than one set of earphones. Oh, Mr. Rich Boy.
Oh, look at me. I got so much money. Oh, someone's furlough came through. Well, I'm still waiting here for the government to message me.
Where's he from?
What a beautiful world we live in. There's a tiger, and there's a Tiger King.
And I'll bet you anything Carol Baskin is up there on a broomstick, pissing all over my tigers.
Talking to the Pinkertons.
The Pinker Tigers.
The Pinker Tigers.
The Tigertons.
The Tigertons.
Oh, man.
Right.
I've got my little things I want to talk about.
Give me a second because I've got
it's okay.
I've got a bit of a problem here, a technical issue, so to speak.
That's okay. We're just doing some Class A stuff at the moment.
Okay, one of the big selling points of the game was the gigantic open world that is just stunningly beautiful.
Oh my god, yes.
Should we discuss
Okay,
that?
so absolutely. Let's first of all talk about how great it is, and then I will say something about the missions that may ruin it for you, and I kind of don't want to. Part of me doesn't want to.
You know, see if it's what I think you're going to say, I might agree with you.
Oh, okay.
But we'll get to that.
I think we should start off with the horse riding in general. The footprints. Oh my effing lord. It's incredible. If you're in snow, if you're in mud, if you're in whatever, it's incredible. And like when your horse wades through the water as well. That's some realism.
I like how when you go through the water, it cleans your horse as well, like it's having a bath.
100%. Oh, but I like brushing my horse though, because it makes me feel an intimate connection. You know, when it...
Something that you lack in real life.
Yes.
Oh, do you know the voice actor for Arthur Morgan, okay.
Arthur Morgan.
Arthur Morgan.
Roger Clark.
Yeah, Roger Clark. I was watching this interview with him, and he recorded the like what he says to the horse and stuff. And apparently, he did it really late in the day. And they asked him to re-record it, and he was like, "Oh, what's wrong with it?" And they played him the stuff back, and it just sounded like this. It just sounded like, "Yeah, that's my girl. That's a girl. Good girl. Oh, who's my girl?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, we're recording that again."
I can't see any problem with that. I can't see any problem.
You don't
I'm
think
not
that could be
hard to do
misconstrued in any sense of anything? Just that.
No confusion. No, definitely no horse porn.
Horseplay.
In Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, that's my girl.
That's my girl.
Atta boy. Here's my boy.
I didn't like the beginning of the open world, the snow. I liked going back to the snow area, but I didn't
Ooh,
like
okay.
that beginning.
Why?
Okay,
What's wrong with
let
it?
me rephrase how I'm saying that. I appreciated it and I liked it when I first started playing. You know what I mean? But I feel like they were a little bit overindulgent with it. You know what I mean? Like it was a bit too slow. Like I got the gist of it.
Yeah,
You know what
so
I mean?
you think it took too long?
Yeah, I think they took too long at the start.
You think it took too long? Okay.
I was so mesmerised by the scenery, I didn't really care how long it took me to walk up a hill.
I thought it was beautiful.
I thought so out of all of the bits, right? I liked the mission where you meet Sadie.
You would.
And I liked the one where you go and the one where you go and save John. That one where you go and save John, I thought was like, in terms of just like the world, just made it look so gorgeous. Even the soundtrack playing in the background worked.
Well,
That was so
okay.
carefully thought out, but then I was just like, I don't know, that whole, because it's essentially just a training segment, you know what I mean?
Hang on.
Just,
No, Josh, hang on a second, mate. So you're telling me you didn't like the first part of the game, as in it was a bit slow and everything like that. But you you just said, I like these two missions, which are the only things you do in that first part of the game.
No, there's a lot of it. There's quite a few bits. But, no, but I mean,
Is that?
I didn't like that you couldn't, like, I didn't like the open world wasn't open, and, which is, I don't know, my criticism of this is completely contradictory to other things, I believe, but I just think it was just, even just the pacing of it, you know what I mean? If you had the same missions, but just the pacing of it was just a little bit faster. Like, it was just slow enough that there was a couple of times I fell out of the idea that they were in a dire situation. You know what I mean?
Because they weren't being frantic
They had
enough.
just enough freedom. Yeah, they had enough freedom that you could kind of plod around. You know what I mean? But not enough that you could just fuck off. But in saying that, though, I really urge people that haven't played it yet to minimise their exploring.
Initially.
You know what I mean? Like, don't go to segments of the map like that are like way. So like, say like, don't go to San Denis.
No. Because when you arrive there on the missions, and when you go through the different chapters, the first time you arrive in those new places, you're like, how have I never been here before?
How have I never been here? Yeah. Oh, that happened to me with the mine. You know, there's a sort of mine in the northeast of the map.
Oh, the mining town.
Yeah.
What was that called? Ansburg.
Ansburg,
Ansburg, that's it. Yeah. Going back to the first bit, like I think the fact that it starts off narrow, I wouldn't say is the right word, but it is a bit of a smaller section of the world. I think the fact that it starts off, it's almost like it starts off as a seed, and then it kind of sprouts, and then it goes everywhere, and you've got roots, and suddenly you're like, oh my god. I like that kind of shock factor.
And you see that on the map. As the map grows, as you go to different places. Like I didn't, having played the first one years and years and years ago, I didn't even think Armadillo was going to be in the map. I thought we've got everywhere.
Armadillo.
And suddenly, in the latter part of the game, you extend this whole like leg that comes out of the bottom left of the map. So it's exactly what you mean, what you're just saying.
Yeah. Well, it's like you can go to Blackwater before, and Blackwater is a location in the game, and something happened in Blackwater.
That's so ominous the way you said that there.
Something happened in Blackwater.
Something happened in Blackwater.
Yeah, but that's how they treat it, isn't it? They're like, we can't go back to Blackwater. We can't go back to Blackwater. And it's like, what happened in Blackwater?
Let's together here try and piece together what happened in Blackwater. Because you kind of get told, but there's so much. You can read Arthur's journal and it tells you quite a lot. From memory, is it not? They were trying to rob a boat that supposedly had a lot of money coming in.
Yes.
But they were caught out by the Pinkertons.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
And then apparently Dutch shot a girl, like just a random innocent lady.
Yeah. Because that's the thing about Dutch, isn't it? He is, in two senses of the word, a lady killer. Like, he's charming, isn't he? Like,
and he's charismatic, and he brings this band of thugs together.
He's very he's very charismatic.
Yeah. He's such in the beginning of the game, he's such a beautiful father figure, and then as you progress, it's kind of like there's a moment in the game where he's he kind of has to remind Arthur of that, and you're like, that's when you know you're losing it.
Some would say. Some would argue that a lot of real-life fathers are like that.
Well, and that's all for this evening, folks. We'll see you.
One of my going back to the open world and things like that. I really enjoy just the kind of little mysteries that there is.
When you're walking around and you bump into a character, or the KKK, or things like that.
It's like just hidden little
that's
secrets.
awful.
I fell down so many YouTube holes, trying to. These guys are trying to work out these kind of unmarked kind of mysteries and secrets and things. Just little snippets of stuff going on. And I like that because it makes it feel kind of like a real world. You know what I mean?
It makes it feel like there's more going on in the world than just your story.
Yeah, like there's stuff going on in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can ignore it or you can intervene, but it doesn't matter. Like, there's bits where people are just building houses, and then throughout the chapters you go through and you come back to this area and the house is a bit more built. You come back again a couple of hours later and it's been fully built.
Talking about this, I would say this is the best example of a lived-in open world.
I 100%
Nobody
agree.
feels like a plot device in any sense of the word.
We don't have any Skyrim people running into walls.
Yeah. I mean, Skyrim does it pretty well. Like, when you first go to River Run?
Skyrim does it in a way, though, that it doesn't feel organic. Like, everyone has something to offer you is quite clearly placed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like this?
Let's just say Skyrim did come out 9 years ago.
We're not criticising Skyrim.
If you look at
it's no excuse.
if you look at video game progression, Skyrim is still pretty amazing. Maybe we should talk about Skyrim in another episode.
We should do just an Elder Scrolls episode.
Elder Scrolls. Bro, you haven't the Elder Scrolls?
Bro, you haven't scrolled?
Bro, you haven't scrolled?
Bro, you haven't whatever it's called. You know what's the shout?
Fus Rodar.
Yeah, bro, you haven't Fus Rodar.
Roda! Oh no, we've just done a Fus Rodar.
My house.
Nobody say the other one. Nobody say arrow to the knee. Oh no, I said it.
So going back to them, talking about mysteries and things, I think by far my favourite kind of unexplained thing in Red Dead as a series is the strange man. Because it's just so mysterious. And he references the story and things. I'm like, who is this dude? What do you think? What do you think of him?
Well, there's a thing of in the first Red Dead, which is set after the second Red Dead.
What?
For those of
No
you who don't
way.
know.
It's too confusing.
I know.
It's a prequel.
There's a moment where John Marston shoots the strange man.
Yes.
And nothing happens. That's creepy. But also, it's made even more creepy by there's not a lot else in the game that is that far. I mean, you allegedly bump into a vampire in Red Dead Redemption 2. But
Yes, yeah.
But he goes down just like any other dude. So you're kind of like,
it's
oh,
not
okay.
strange.
It's just a bit weird. Probably just a weird guy.
I think he's death, man. I think he's meant to be the Reaper. In Red Dead 1, he says that. Well, he references. See, I'm tying it all in. We were talking about the Blackwater job. He references that as well, saying he was there. He says he was there, and he says he knows the name of the girl Dutch shot.
Yeah, that's creepy. Okay, we have spoken quite a lot about
Yes.
characters and story.
Okay.
But I always find what people never talk about enough with Red
Yes.
Dead is the gameplay. More specifically,
Okay.
the gunplay.
The gunplay. JJ, hit us with what you think.
Well, people talk about hunting a lot, and hunting is great in that game. You have to get specific weapons
For different animals.
They have their own micro ecosystem as well. So like, boars will like forage and stuff, and if you kill a body or if a body dies in some other way, it rots over time, over
that's
in-game
pretty cool.
time. I think that's awesome. Anyway, but yeah, actually with hunting, you can do this thing where you get on a horse, and if you kind of just spam the sprint button and then lasso the animal, and then
Yeah, you knife it.
yeah, you can knife it, but that's horrible. It's horrible because the does really do have doughy eyes, and as soon as you get it,
Sever
and it's
its
like
head off.
pulling backwards, it's horrible. You're looking right at it.
I'm just gonna put this one out here, JJ. No one's forcing you to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to do this. You could kill it from a long way away, or you could just leave it alone.
Yeah, but I like my 3-star pelts, man. I really do.
Sweet rice.
Life
It's a
lessons with
cartoon.
JJ Harding.
That's what we call a compromise.
It's a cartoon. My girlfriend was watching me as I was hunting once, and she like was genuinely mad at me for a few hours when I got this like little adorable buck, and it was making this horrible noise, just like and I was like, oh no.
Well, you know what? She's mad at you when she watches you kill it, but I bet she still wears those sweet, sweet fox pelt scarves and
She loves those Christmas presents.
she loves
Oh
those
yeah,
bearskin rugs. That
she
you're
loves
putting
those.
yeah.
She loves those in-game mink skin coats.
Yeah, she just loves the fact there's just no bullet holes in it. Yeah.
Anyway, so we talk about what do you guys think of the gunplay? You like it?
It's quite strategical, I think. You've got to place yourself behind barrels, and if there are too many things.
Oh, do you think it's strategic, or do you think? I don't know, because sometimes I feel
Yeah.
it's a bit of a breeze.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of difficulty in there. But every now and again, the game just goes, "Oh, here you go. There's 18 guys, but from every angle this time, not just in front
It's
of you."
like that. You will play 2 hours of just riding around, lassoing does, and getting their pelts, and then out of nowhere you're launched into this ambush of seemingly endless men, just shooting you from every angle.
Endless dudes. I need more dudes.
Endless dudes.
So, I have a.
Here we
I want
go.
to, it's
Oh,
not
no.
really a
Here
story,
we go.
but an experience I had in the game that I'd like to. It's basically it's that illusion of non-linear. Like there's parts in it that I feel are a bit too much on rails. Like I feel like there's parts where there's a kind of clear identity crisis in the game of it wanting to be this really open, kind of almost RPG.
Oh, it is an
Then
RPG.
a bit then an on the rails.
Yeah.
But then there's parts that just completely dive into being an on the rails shooter. Like for example, in the mission at the kind of oil field, I think you have to break into the foreman's office and get the.
Yeah.
So I
Oh yeah.
climbed on a thing and climbed in the window, and it failed me. Right.
What did you get
Because I
spotted
didn't
though?
go. No, I said I went out of the mission bounds because I didn't do it in the way that I was supposed to do it. But then I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, so like I'm like decide one of them, and I also on this same vein, I'm like, I feel like see that last portion of the game. Well, not the last portion. The last portion of Arthur Morgan's story
Arthur Morgan's story. Yeah. R.I.P.
feels compared Yeah, R.I.P. Feels compared to the rest.
Spoiler alert,
Yeah.
everybody, well done.
Spoiler scat.
Scooby spoilers.
Welcome to the
Spoiler alert, skibbida-ba-ba, spoiler alert, doobida-ba-ba.
I just feel like so much of that is just like so on rails. You know what I mean? Like not on rails, but you're very very funneled into.
By that point in the game, you have this. I don't know how long it is. 60 hours worth of gameplay or something, and your character has contracted a disease, so he's got limited time.
My example is so like people they clearly really wanted you to get the like the good ending. You know what I mean? The supposed canon ending, the good ending with good karma.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the game, you get so many choices flung at you that have huge morale boost awards. You know what I mean? Like if you choose the good option, you get like an insane amount of.
Oh.
So it kind of it negates out. I feel like to an extent it negates the choices you made before.
It's almost like it doesn't matter at all.
Yep. Yeah, but despite my hunting, I actually did get I actually got max morale at around chapter 3.
Yeah, I got it really early.
But I did chase the bar. I chased the white hat.
You know, when Arthur Morgan first finds out he's got TB and he walks out of the doctor's office and he's sort of stumbling down the street a little bit and he's got a clouded vision that goes black and white and an animal walks across. What animal did you see?
The stag. Or was it
I-
a doe? The deer?
Yeah, a buck. It's a buck. Isn't it?
I saw a wolf.
It's actually a coyote.
Oh.
So I'm guessing, a coyote. I think your morale affects.
Yeah, your morale affects certain cutscenes.
Wow. That is cool.
Yeah.
But that I found that that part of it quite tacky
Tacky.
with the animals.
It comes out of nowhere.
Tacky.
Yeah, but
The animals.
Yeah, it was quite tacked on. You know what I mean? It just felt like
No, it's not, because he keeps having the dream of the buck. It represents him. He's being chased
know.
throughout his whole life. He's always running.
but,
It's
like, the full
brilliant.
thing of it-
It's wonderful imagery.
It's his Patronus.
the
It is. It's great.
the full thing. It's the full thing of like the fact that it's to do with his morale rather than your morale choices rather than the story.
Yeah, I get
You know
that.
what I mean?
It's a nice little touch.
Yeah,
Feels
but
a bit tacked on is we
No,
need to have
it's
a
fine.
consequence story wise for the choices you've made. So
You,
just
you do
follow
have a
these
consequence story-wise.
You do.
It makes sense. No, I'll grant you, it makes sense. Like they make sense, but it feels more like it feels more like it doesn't serve anything. You know what I mean in the story, other than to be like, this is because you made these choices. You know what I mean?
No, it's no. It's imagery. It's a reflection of what he.
I feel like
is.
over the course of this series, we're going
gonna
to
disagree a lot.
JJ.
Be alright.
Specifically me and JJ.
No, I respect your views.
I respect your views. I just don't respect you.
I respect your views. You're just wrong. No, I think it's nice. I think it's sweet. The one thing this game does really well is subtlety. Like whether it's graphics, whether it's story. I mean,
Whether you're robbing a stage.
Or a bank.
yeah, that's something. Like I didn't even know you'd see a coyote if you did.
No, I didn't either. I was watching a
bad
YouTube
things.
clip yesterday, and it was that scene, and I just saw this doe come across. I was thinking, I didn't see that.
Do you know your another cutscene that changes depending on your morale? You know when you save the kind of army dude and you put him on the train
Yes.
and you have the conversation at the train station. Do you know if you've got good morale, it's with the nun.
The
and if
nun.
you've bad morale, it's with the heroin addict.
Isn't he also like a priest or something?
What's his name? You know who I'm talking about?
I know you're talking about the one who you have to like rescue right at the start. You have to chase him down. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the train track.
What is it, Father?
You know what I mean, though.
Father something? Yeah, I know who you mean. I think we know who you mean.
It's a kind of similar conversation. Like you're a bit more hard-hearted when you're talking to him than.
Yeah, of course.
I think that was one of the most emotional bits for me.
And Arthur drops a bombshell there, didn't he?
I'm scared.
He's like, I had a son once. He died, and you're like, oh my god, I didn't know this.
Yeah, it's like this
Where
guy's
did this come
lived a
from?
fucking tormented life.
Yeah. Well, I always think he looks younger than how old he is.
He's only meant to
doesn't
be
he?
like in his 30s.
Yeah, it's a different time though. I guess like you probably have a kid at like 16
man,
back then.
Yeah.
And then obviously he met the wonderful Mary Linton.
Slag.
Yep. Slag. That's so unnecessary.
Take me to go see the theatre.
What? And they're doing the can, and Arthur's just like, now this is a show.
I found it so heartbreaking, man, when you come back from Guarma and you have the letter from her saying like she waited for you and then you never turned up. I was like, oh man.
Should we do Guarma?
Yeah, let's talk about Guarma.
I think, right, what they mean by Guarma, ladies and gentlemen, is they mean the gold bar.
The gold bar.
Oh, the gold bar.
We have been back and forthing between this.
So, setting
John,
the scene. Should we set the scene a little bit?
No, actually, Adam, I feel like you're more impartial. You set the scene on this one.
Right, so gold bars. Okay, we're in Guarma. It's basically Cuba.
I'm sure the Guarma people, the people of Guarma, if you're listening,
The Guamanians.
we know you're not basically Cuba. You're your own place.
Sorry, yeah, of course, yeah. You're your own fictional peoples.
Is that not a real place?
All our Guamanese listeners.
I thought Guarma was a real place.
No, Guatemala's real.
Oh man, okay.
Hang on.
I was so convinced Guarma was a real place.
The Guamanese.
Isn't Guana? I think Guana is a real place, isn't it?
Ghana.
Oh, yeah.
Ghana and okay, so Guarma is basically an island in the Caribbean that's mixed between Ghana and Guatemala.
Right, we're in Guarma. Dutch being Dutch has just charmed an entire island into being on his side.
Can you give me an impression in one sentence of Dutch charming an island?
Dutch charming an island? Okay.
I want to hear this impression. Can you say anything of Dutch charming an
The
island?
native people of.
No, not even the people, like the actual physical landmass of an island.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck.
Hello there, Guarma. I think you have some beautiful shores. And you got lush trees and, my God, those birds are exotic.
Well done. That was great. That was beautiful.
Okay, Gold Bar Gate.
Yeah.
Going to the gold bar, gonna have a gold bar.
This wound hasn't healed for me.
The wound. Let's see if we can reopen this wound then.
Okay.
Go for it, man.
Okay, so the gold bars.
Oh, God.
There is an old lady. I can't say it. I can't say it.
Okay.
I will say it. I will tell the fucking tragic tale of the gold bar. So, you're trying to escape the island. There's all out kind of carnage going on, and Arthur and Dutch are going through this kind of, it's like a tunnel or something. Like an old lady's, she's showing them the way, and then for her troubles, he hands her a gold bar. But then, for some reason, he decides to strangle her to death. But that's not.
No, hang on.
That's
It's
not what
not.
bothers me.
It's not for some reason. She asks him
It is.
for more money.
Oh yeah.
She
okay,
asks him
that's
for
true.
another one. She says it's not enough, and he's like, "Well, I've already given you this." And like that's when they have an argument,
Well,
and he doesn't know what she's saying.
This executes this explains my point further. Then
Oh.
that backs me up.
Oh,
the
no.
fact that
What have I done?
the
I've
fact
given
that-
him ammunition.
You have
He's gonna win.
the fact that she asks him for more money and he says no, obviously because he values his money, right? He strangles her to death.
No, he
Here
doesn't.
we are
He doesn't give her
at
the money
point-
because he doesn't have any more. Because he's stranded on an island.
Right, but let me finish. He strangles her, right, and doesn't pick back up the gold bar. Like, why not?
We all noticed this. The first time we played it, we all noticed he strangles this old woman, but he doesn't pick up the bar that he's just given her. His whole thing is money, money, money. I need to do this for money so we can get to Tahiti and shit.
Yeah, it really bothers me.
No, it's not. He's not doing it for
Okay,
money.
I had to think about this, JJ. right?
Okay.
Here we go.
You go
Because
first. I'm gonna let you speak.
To you, it's a plot point, right?
We think it's a
Okay.
plot point.
But for
Yeah.
me,
Adam and
for
me are
it's
team
an
plot
oversight.
point. You think it's a bloody
I am-
oversight somehow.
Right,
Somehow.
but let me explain.
Oversight.
Let me explain.
God.
Let me explain.
Oh, Josh.
Because It's so clearly like why I don't. It doesn't go with anything with his character. I get what you're saying, but like surely to illustrate that the point of it's just to show it's not about the money anymore. It just is.
He's gone crazy. He's gone mad.
He's gone crazy. Surely they could have had Arthur then picking up the gold bar and being like,
and there's no option, is there? There's no option.
There's not. Yeah,
no, because Arthur's
it
shocked.
So much like an oversight.
No. Arthur's father figure has just strangled a woman, left a gold bar,
lady.
and just.
But it's supposed to be an RPG of sorts, like you said. So why isn't there even the option to pick the gold bar up, other than they didn't put it? They didn't. There's no gold bar physically coded into being on her because they forgot.
This is a game of 2,000 pages of script.
Yeah.
Like 300,000 separate animations. They didn't forget.
They did not. How could they forget? How could they forget?
If anything, because there's more of it. To me, it makes it seem more likely that they forget.
What?
Also, it's in the end game, and you remember like all that stuff with like Rockstar being like heavy pushed and like crunch time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To me, there being an oversight, it makes sense, and it just, to me, it's not strong enough to stand as like this is intentional.
Okay. The reason it was left is because by this point, after everything that's happened, Dutch has become very desensitized to pretty much everything else. So he's so desensitized to... hang on, how am I going to phrase this?
The killing of old women.
Yeah, he's desensitized to murder. He just doesn't care anymore. He's a vengeful creature as well. When he just straight up comes up to Leviticus Cornwall and they try to do a truce, and he doesn't want to do a truce. He didn't want that at all in the first place. He's a manipulator. He is a liar. All he wanted to do was get his gun out and shoot him between the eyes, and he did. This woman wronged him. This woman defied him. He is the god of his own world. In that defiance, she got executed. Because that's what he's like. He's a control freak.
I agree with that. But also, I don't understand why you can't have both. You know what I mean? Why can't he be, as you're saying, like, and as he is, this kind of person that's the god of his own world, and he's just got a pure lust for blood, essentially, and chaos, but also be completely money hungry, like he is the full game, and he's constantly trying to plan jobs. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. This is funny. This is such like a minute point in the game. You know what I mean? Like, this is not an important thing.
But you're right though. This is one of the great things about Red Dead. It opens up these conversations. It opens up like
exactly.
how much you. I mean, and in my opinion, the fact that you think that's an oversight and you've noticed that oversight in this massive world just means
we all noticed it.
Yeah. Well, it just means that the game's got us paying attention.
It was really invested in it.
And that is something not a lot of games do.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I will get 100%. Before, I don't know what else you guys want to talk about, but before we end up trying to wrap this up, I do have something I wanted to discuss.
Get it off your chest. Get it off that huge benching 90 kg chest of yours, buddy.
Benching 500 kg chest.
Come on, Eddie Hall.
This is the self-plugging part of the podcast.
Come on, Eddie Hall.
Follow my OnlyFans.
Give us your PB, buddy. Give us your PB.
Bobsome Dugnett at onlyfans.co.uk.
Big chest Dugnett.
Big chest Dugnett.
Chest Dugnett.
I want to talk about like video game characters as like a whole, like the current
yes you do
state of like specifically like I don't know, like male protagonists in games. There is definitely a trend happening just now with female protagonists that I will touch on.
But maybe we could discuss the female characters when we talk about something like, I don't know, Horizon Zero Dawn, maybe.
Yeah,
or like the new Tomb Raiders. Yeah, the new ones.
I think I know where you're going though, Josh. It's the redemption saga.
Yeah, it's the
male protagonist.
The older male protagonist that he's done something bad or something bad.
And he's trying to right his wrongs.
And now it's like 10 years later, and now he's like not even always trying to right his wrongs. He's just growing as a person, or like making up for something that happened in the past.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course.
So, this is such a good point, and I feel like we should definitely talk about this. Maybe we'll probably come back to this when we do an episode of God of War, because this is a big thing.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a good That's
Yeah.
a good point. It's a good example.
But what I completely agree with you guys on the whole dad protagonist thing, and here's do you want to know why? I think it's the case.
Why?
Video gaming now is over 40 years old, and a lot of the developers of older games like God of War, and like the first Dead Redemption, it has been about 10 years since the first Red Dead Redemption, I want to say.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the fan base is...
Yeah. No, it's the developers that are getting older, and the fan base as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. What you're saying with these pro-dadanists.
Nice! Protagonist!
Oh, wow, Wheezy.
Ladies and gentlemen,
no, I'm joking.
we got him.
How do you think that this kind of new, I want to say, like archetype of character fits in with Red Dead 2, with that kind
How does
of,
it fit in with
you know,
Red
in my
Dead
head,
specifically?
comparing John Marston to Arthur Morgan, I think Arthur Morgan's like, although you can find a lot of his backstory in terms of in-game, he's a bit of a blank page. Like, I think that's good because
you can build upon him.
Yeah, you can really imprint yourself in it, but where do you think that fits in the kind of current zeitgeist of gaming protagonists? Do you think there's anything that's similar to?
I don't think Arthur Morgan is as charismatic as John Marston,
Really?
to be honest.
No, I don't think he's just...
I don't think he's as
all types of
charismatic,
character.
but I definitely think Arthur Morgan has more sex appeal.
Sex
Oh,
appeal.
100%.
He really does.
Abigail doesn't think so.
I would be playing Red Dead and Phoebe would be like, "Oh, are you playing as Arthur right now?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And she'd be like, "Oh, have you got any cutscenes coming up?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And she'd be like, "Sweet."
Yeah.
And just start sitting there, just staring. And I'm like, excuse me. It's so funny.
Well, there we go. John Marston is a sex icon.
No, not John. Arthur.
Oh, sorry.
No, Arthur Morgan.
I mean,
John's
John's like, he's all right. I mean, he's a handsome man, but he's different. He's like,
He's rugged.
he's rugged. Yeah, he's a bit
more rough
he's a
around
bit
the
of a
edges.
bad boy, and I know Arthur's a bad boy too, but Arthur has a bit of wisdom behind him. You know.
Arthur's a soft one. Arthur's a bit more
Yeah, he is. I think that's the point, isn't it? I think in the first part of the game, as soon as we realise the Mary Linton thing, we're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Tin Man, you do have a heart." But but up until then, like Arthur kind of, it's very obvious what he is. He is the muscle of that group.
Yeah.
And then he kind of progresses and sees he sees John going in the same direction as he does. And that's when he starts to impart that kind of softer side.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
One other thing I'd like to touch on. Okay, I found an article written by a lady called Jessica Hoffman Davis, who is Dutch's real mum.
Oh,
She's a
the voice actor's
75-year-old
real mum?
woman, and she...
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and she took it upon herself after... This is really cool. She took it upon herself to play the game. She's an old lady. She's never played the PlayStation before.
And that's the first game she played?
It's amazing.
That's
It's
incredible.
really, really cool. And she
That's difficult.
describes... I mean, most of the article is her describing how to like press buttons on a controller. It's endearing.
Wait,
It's
can
really
we
cool.
read this? Is this published somewhere, or is this cool?
Yeah, I'll send it to you, and I'll put it in
Okay,
the
okay.
link, and yeah,
Link it below.
I'll link it below. It's called the reconceptualization of video game as a work of art, and she sits there and she says she was so immersed in this world that she felt almost ostracized from for so long, because it's quite daunting if you've got big games, fast paced, because it's got that slow nature. You can just sit into it, and I think it's a perfect game for the old generation.
I
to get
really,
into.
if I had the money, I would buy my dad a PS4 and send him that with
Yeah.
Red Dead in it. Just, he loves cowboy movies as well. I think it's ideal for any.
It's a perfect vessel of storytelling for anyone to get into, I think.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Okay, before we finish, everybody, JJ, how many robbed stages out of 10 would you give Red Dead 2?
I'd give Red Dead Redemption 2 10. 10 out of 10. What a game.
10 out of 10.
I feel like I'll be saying this a lot. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Adam, how many tuberculosis coughs?
And give us all the coughs.
Red Dead 2.
Can we do it that 1 is the top and 10 is the bottom?
No. Who do you think you are?
No.
Is that 9?
Can you do it again? I lost count.
Oh.
Okay, how many was that? 9?
I'll
Okay.
give you another one. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
It was a 10 out of 10, boys.
Oh!
I'm gonna give what?
How many gold bars out of 10?
How many gold bars?
I'm gonna give a solid 9 gold bars out of 10. Or 9 freezing, shrinking horse balls out of 10.
Earlobes! We didn't talk about the earlobes.
No,
it's too late.
Okay, so
now.
the sun can shine through earlobes in this game. Did it? I've said it.
Cheers, boys. Logging out.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye! I've been Sleeve McDurkle.